I would like to extend my thanks to the members of the House, both Democrat and Republican, and also to the Democratic and Republican staff for their efforts over the last several weeks and months in helping us to arrive at this point and in passing a temporary budget. Very important work has been accomplished after serious compromise and good faith efforts, but our job is not finished. You all know there is much more to do. My view for the last 18 months has been that the most important job for the legislature is to address the state's budget deficit and to pass a budget that provides the critical services that Illinois' middle class, the elderly, children, and the most vulnerable depend upon. Last summer, we heard from many individuals, including breast cancer survivors, disabled children, elderly residents who rely upon local agencies, and many others who were losing important state funding. Democratic legislators have repeatedly urged the passage of a budget that would fund programs like breast cancer screenings for women, services for children with disabilities, meals for homebound seniors, and state funding for in-home care for the elderly. Passing a budget that meets our obligations to Illinois' middle class, frail elderly, children, and the most vulnerable has been, is, and will continue to be our most important job, not other agendas that hurt the middle class. Today's vote marks the 7th time that the House has passed a budget that did not include items from the governor's personal agenda. 7th time. Many previous efforts to implement a more comprehensive budget failed due to the governor's insistence on the inclusion of his agenda that would drive down middle-class wages and the standard of living. The difference today is that the governor has dropped his demand that his agenda be considered before a budget could be approved. We have seen with previous successful budget efforts that we can come together. We can achieve compromise. We can pass a budget when the governor's demands relative to his personal agenda that hurts families are dropped. That happened here today. This measure is a compromise. Republicans did not get everything that they wanted. Democrats did not get everything that they wanted. But this is a compromise effort that also makes important progress toward fulfilling our obligations to Illinois' middle class, the elderly, children, and the most vulnerable, progress that must continue as we move forward. While important progress has been made today, I want to reiterate that our work is not done. My priority and the priority of House Democrats continues to be the passage and the implementation of a comprehensive, full-year state budget that fulfills the promises to Illinois' middle class, the elderly, children, and the most vulnerable. This can be achieved if we can again work together towards compromise instead of focusing our agenda that would hurt Illinois' middle class, rather focus on a budget that improves the quality of life for all Illinoisans. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much, and I move that the House stand adjourned to the call of the chair.